Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to ZND Academy Course Summaries. If you're new here, we'd absolutely love for you to subscribe, like, comment, and share so we can keep bringing you premium Islamic education. Today, we're diving into a really profound lesson from Dr. Abu Zayd Makka Al-Kubi. We're looking at the oneness of lordship, also known as Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. As educators, our goal is to take these foundational concepts from Aqueedah and break them down for you. We want to make authentic knowledge deeply accessible so you can learn your deen with absolute clarity.
To map out this explainer today, we're going to use the metaphor of a tree of knowledge. We'll start at number 1, the root, which is the definition. Then number 2, the branches, looking at the implications. Number 3, the fruits of true belief. And finally, number 4, the threats, or the nullifiers.
Okay, let's dive into this, starting with section 1, the root, defining lordship.
So, what does divine lordship actually mean in the everyday life of a believer? Well, fundamentally, Tawheed al-Rububiyyah means singling out Allah as the sole creator, which in Arabic is Khalik. He is the sole owner, the Malik, the sole manager, the Mudabbir, and the sole legislator, the Mushari. These are beautiful, powerful Arabic terms. And what's really fascinating here is the sheer logic behind it. Dr. Al-Kubi shares this brilliant analogy of the sea. Just imagine standing on a beach, right? You're watching these massive, powerful waves surge forward, and then they just halt, exactly where the sand begins. If they didn't stop, they'd literally flood the earth. A logical mind instantly recognizes that this boundary isn't random. The sea has a manager, a mudabbir, who commands its limits. And logically, if there's one manager for the immense oceans, there has to be one ultimate manager for the entire cosmos.
Moving right along to section 2, the branches, the 4 essential implications. You see, declaring Allah's lordship naturally grows into 4 logical branches, or requirements, known in Arabic as muqtadiyat.
Once that root is firmly planted in our hearts, we have to align our actions and our worldview to these 4 branches. Step 1 is recognizing His uniqueness in attributes. Step 2 is recognizing His uniqueness in legislation. Step 3 means singling Him out entirely in our worship. And finally, step 4 is holding a firm belief in the divine decree. Claiming that God is the creator isn't just some passive statement, It actively demands action across all 4 of these steps.
Let's look at the evidence for that very first branch. The Quran explicitly states, "There is nothing like unto Him," or in Arabic, "Laysa kamithlihi shay." And honestly, this is a purely logical conclusion. Just think about it for a second. The Creator cannot possibly resemble His creation. If the Creator were subject to time or space or had beginnings and endings like humans or the universe do, well, He wouldn't be the Creator. Therefore, comparing Allah to the sky, the earth, or any human figure completely contradicts the very definition of lordship.
Now, to understand the third branch, singling Him out in worship, we can look at a really insightful analogy from the source text. Imagine I hand you a brand new smartphone as a gift. Awesome, right? But instead of thanking me, you turn around, walk up to a totally random stranger on the street, and start pouring out your gratitude to them. You'd look at me like I was crazy. Imagine how awkward and ridiculous that would be. But that vividly illustrates how entirely irrational shirk, or polytheism, truly is. If Allah is the sole Khalik and Malik, the one who literally gave you your life, your health, your provision, how illogical is it to direct your prayers or your gratitude to a saint, a grave, or a statue?
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 3. The fruits, the sweetness of faith, known as thamarat.
When your roots are solid and your branches are aligned, you really start to reach the emotional climax of our tree, where we see the incredible personal benefits of this creed. But we do face a deeply thought-provoking question raised during the lecture. Let's be totally honest with ourselves. Practicing religion involves physical exertion. Waking up for Fajr prayer when you're exhausted, fasting long hours, turning away from tempting but forbidden business deals. All of this involves real, undeniable hardship. So, if obedience and fighting our desires are difficult, where exactly is this immense spiritual peace we're always promised?
Well, that tension is resolved when we understand the transformation of the heart. When a person is completely satisfied with Allah as their Lord, those physical hardships are transformed into a deep spiritual sweetness. The fruits you harvest are profound joy in the heart. You gain this immense courage because you no longer fear the creation. You feel a deep tranquility and, honestly, total relief from worldly anxiety. You just stop stressing over the uncontrollable because you know the Mudabbir, the ultimate manager of the universe, is taking care of you.
And this brilliantly illustrates how a true believer responds when tragedy strikes. When faced with a financial loss, an academic failure, or even something as heavy as the death of a loved one, a person rooted in Tawheed doesn't spiral into despair or panic. They simply say, Qadarallahu wa ma shafa, meaning Allah decreed and what He willed has happened. It's a state of peaceful acceptance of the divine decree. It's understanding that the Lord acts with infinite wisdom, even when it involves momentary pain.
Now we arrive at Section 4, the threats, the nullifiers of lordship known as nawaqid. We have to shift our tone a bit here, respectfully but firmly, to talk about the pests that threaten our tree of knowledge. Every beautiful tree has pests that try to destroy it from the root up. Let's impartially and educationally break down these categories straight from the source text to see how they fundamentally contradict the oneness of lordship. The first category is denying God's existence entirely, which we see in modern atheism. The second is believing in a partner in creation, kind of like ancient philosophies that proposed one creator for good and a completely different one for evil. The third is assigning a partner in legislation. This happens when human beings or societies remove divine law, claiming the ultimate right to dictate what is fundamentally lawful or unlawful based merely on human-made frameworks or majorities. And the fourth category is assigning a partner in ownership, such as believing that certain deceased saints or prophets actively manage the affairs of the universe from their graves.
A really major reason people fall into that last nullifier is due to a dangerous misunderstanding. Basically, they treat Allah like an earthly king. Think about an earthly king for a second. He has limited knowledge. He doesn't know who you are, he can't hear you from a distance, and he certainly doesn't know your true intentions. Because of that, you need an intercessor, like a minister or a VIP, to plead your case to him. But the King of Kings is absolutely nothing like that. Allah directly knows your deepest secrets, He hears your quietest whispers, and He understands your exact needs. Treating Him like some limited human king who requires a middleman is the exact flawed logic that historically leads to grave worship.
So, the crucial point is, Section 5, Practical Conclusion, Guarding the Tree of Knowledge.
Ultimately, understanding Tawheed al-Rububiyyah is not just some academic exercise. It's the active, lifelong process of guarding our tree of knowledge from these nullifiers, ensuring our roots stay absolutely firm so we can experience the true, unmatched peace of Islam. So I want to leave you with this provocative question as we wrap up. Look inwardly today. Does your heart rely entirely on the true creator and manager of the universe? Or are you, in some subtle way, still thanking the stranger? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share so we can continue to produce these premium educational resources. Jazakumullahu khairan.